Okay, I need the mother of the bride.
I'm the mother of the bride.
I raised her.
I endured 24 hours of hard labor for her, you skank.
Don't let family history ruin your awesome wedding day. It's embarrassing. Ew.
Divorced parents.
Let's face it, ladies, this is divorced, people are divorced all the time.
New millennium.
New millennium. And you have blended families and extended families, and some brides have a very difficult time, especially if parents don't get along.
Yeah.
Right, and I think it's being upfront with knowing it, because I will sit at plenty of ceremony meetings with my bride and look across the table and say, okay, you said your parents are divorced, now does everybody get along? Yeah, everybody gets along. And then on wedding day, it's like, surprise. Yeah, I'm lining people up, and I got the stepmother in front, and I got the mother in back, and the mother pulls me aside and says, what am I doing back here? I'm the mother, I'm more important, I need to be up there. And I explain to her how the order of the ceremony works, and she's looking at me like I don't care, and I'm before her, and all of that. So it's really important to know that those things are coming, to identify that to whoever is running your ceremony.
Right.
That's
very
so
important.
they know, and they are prepared for you, really, for you on wedding day.
Also where they're going to sit. I mean, so many times we have,
they can't even sit on the same row
no,
together.
they can't even sit next to each other.
Right. And that's not something you want to find out on rehearsal day.
Or on wedding day, as a planner.
Okay.
It's okay to talk about the skeletons in the closet. It's okay if mom and dad don't get along, as long as we know.
So because guess what? We're going to find out on day of anyway, so you might as well tell us now.
It makes for a much smoother process. If you guys know, or if your planner knows that this is going to be a challenge. So let's try and do what we can.
Because we know how to prepare for it.
That's right. Who's ever running your ceremony can give you ideas at that ceremony meeting and say, okay, here's the deal. It's not the end of the world. Most parents are divorced at this point. I actually had a wedding where both sets of parents were divorced and the grandparents were divorced, and everybody was remarried, and no one got along. So
nobody told you.
And no one told me until rehearsal. And so 2 sets of grandmas yelling at me, 2 sets of moms yelling at me, and it was really like, okay, I have a solution for you guys. We have a first and second row. Very easy. That's right. We separated them all up, and everybody was happy as pie. But sometimes, very rarely, you get the divorced parents who still get along. And I think that is really cool.
Or immature enough to go, you know what, we got married, we created children, now they're moving on in their lives, and we need to set our differences aside. I mean, in the perfect world, that would be the solution. That your parents could go, we need to set our differences aside.
For her day.
For her day, or his day, or whatever. But in the event that doesn't happen, you've got some challenges.
So many times I want to say, guys,
seriously,
let's be adults.
Right.
30 minutes of your life.
Like time out for you, time out for you. Get it together, and you can come back together.
30 minutes. But as a bride, I can see, I have so many brides come to me and are so stressed.
And it's unnecessary to be stressed. It really is. I mean, when my daughter got married, divorced parents, we all sat in the front row. We were fine. We were
That's
fine.
not everybody. And if you
it
know
is
you're
not
going to be
everybody.
that kind of parent, you need to.
And you were even the younger, hotter wife.
I'm the younger, hotter wife.
You know what I mean? That was awesome.
Again, look good from all angles.
35. Yeah, so I think, all of that you should take into consideration.
Absolutely.
And, I think it's really hard, like you said, Jen, from the bride's standpoint, because these are her parents. And she loves her parents, and she wants them to act appropriately, and 80% of the time they don't. And so they're looking at us to make sure that we handle that for them, so they're not looking out, worried if dad is, pissing off mom over there in the crowd.
Or got in a headlock.
I think the biggest thing for brides is just prepare for it. I mean,
Absolutely.
if you know you have divorced parents, be honest with your planner.
Prepare your planner.
Let them know that you have divorced parents, and this is the issue, and
it's going to be a little sticky.
And there's ways to work through it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
if your parents got divorced when you were really young, and your stepdad raised you, and you want him to walk you down the aisle, but you also have that obligation to your real father as well. There's ways to do that. You can, especially if you're doing an outdoor wedding, one of them can walk you into the actual ceremony aisle, and the other one can walk you down the aisle. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it. You don't have to think, oh God, what am I going to do now? And who's going to be upset?
Stressful situation. It doesn't need to be so stressful.
No.
Right? It can be handled.
And most of the time, your parents understand. Right. I think brides worry so much. Like, what is my stepdad gonna think?
Right.
You know, I don't want to hurt his feelings, or I don't want to hurt my dad's feelings. And I think that, like Jenna said, there's so many ways that they can incorporate both into the ceremony.
Right. Be respectful of all different.
In the ceremony and in the reception, because the father-daughter dance, the same problem with that.
Cut the song
you can cut, you can split it in half, you can make a totally different song for each of them. I mean, there's ways to work around that, but again, realizing that this is an issue, I want to be prepared for it, and I want my staff, my people, my planner, whoever's running the ceremony, to also be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to get the outcome. I mean, honestly, you know, if you know the situation is what it is, then you need to just relay that info to the the key players for your day. And that's just going to be, it's not, because we can all hope that our parents will be adults and parents and set those differences aside. But you guys have seriously seen if that doesn't necessarily come to fruition.
Well, and if everyone's aware before the wedding, where they're sitting, what's going to happen,
then there's no,
then there's no surprises on the day of. Everybody knows what's going to happen, and everybody's happy on the day of, and you have no problems. So
don't stress about it. Just notify the important people, and they'll give you either some suggestions or they'll have ways to kind of massage that uncomfortable setting and make it work the best way it's workable.
Glendale Manor is totally BA.